the lighting. Yeah.
Welcome everybody to the digital download, 2 o'clock UK time, Friday the 18th. Welcome everybody. Thanks to Restreamio for the platform. This is where we go through and talk about what we've learned, but more importantly, we would love to know what you've learned over the last week. We would love to talk about that, chat about that. We would love to have any of your questions, queries, comments, anything that you would like to raise. Before we get into that, let's do a quick round of intros. Mike, do you want to go first?
Mike Garrison, Values-Based Mindset, proud associate with DLA, and I love coaching.
Good. And your son is 18 tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Wow.
That is, he was born, what was it, a pound?
Pound 7 ounces.
Pound 7 ounces.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I take it he's put on a bit of weight since then.
By exponential factors.
Eric.
Hi everyone, Eric Doyle from Crux, partner of DLA Ignite also, and we help people improve their situation with social.
Thomas.
Hello everybody, I'm Thomas Ross. I'm the founder of Social Sales HQ and a very active and proud partner with the DLA Ignite team.
Welcome. And Mr. Gray.
Mr. Hughes. I'm Tim's business partner, and I'm a very proud co-founder of DLA Ignite, and it's actually my wedding anniversary tomorrow.
Oh,
Wow.
Oh, congratulations.
Round of applause.
My goodness.
How many years is it, Adam?
Many. 23.
23.
Yeah.
May I just say, Adam, congratulations on that, but also how beautifully lit you are today in your studio.
Why, thank you. It does though look, from the view I get of it here, it does look like I've got a virtual background rather than a real background, doesn't it?
Yeah, but
It
we all
does,
know
yeah,
that
like
you're-
you don't really have guitars.
I don't really have guitars. It's actually hurdy-gurdies that I collect.
Right. You're an accordion player or something, aren't you?
Yeah, well, isn't it Oscar Wilde who said the sign of a gentleman is somebody who can play the accordion but doesn't?
Very good.
And hello to Matt. Thanks for tuning in.
Matt
Who are
Pybus.
you?
Oh,
Who's this Tim Hughes fellow?
I need
Yeah,
to-
who is this
right.
Tim Hughes fellow? Go on, Tim.
Yeah.
You never,
Oh,
you never
and
do
me,
that.
I'm the CEO and co-founder with Adam of DLA Ignite,
And he herds this cat show.
and I'm a modest individual living in London.
Very much.
So you don't collect guitars though, Tim, but what do you collect?
Vinyl records,
And how many vinyl records have you got?
about 2,000.
Okay, well, there's room for me to expand my guitar collection then, isn't there?
There is, yeah. I have about 878 as well.
878.
78. My goodness.
I remember that probably 3 or 4 years ago, my family and I went over to Tim's for a barbecue one lunchtime. And Tim had recently refurbished one of those old wind-up gramophones with the trumpet on the top. And my son at the time was probably 13 or 14. He was just fascinated with this, wasn't
I got
he?
him to wind the. So I have two 78 record players, a small portable one, plus my great grandfather's one, which has got a wooden horn. And I got him to wind it up and take the record out the sleeve and put it on, and then put the. I'll do it for you next week if the audience wants me to demonstrate it. I'll do it next week, but the audience have got to ask for it.
Oh. Can I just, before we start all the serious business, Adam, those beautiful works of musical art behind you, I thought it was all about acoustic for you, but there seems to be a rather beautiful little electric guitar sitting in the.
Yes.
What's going on there?
Well, that's a really good point. I am really into acoustic guitars, but I think that part of the reason that I'm into acoustic guitars is that I've kind of over the years upgraded the quality of instruments that I've had, and they've always been really good. And every time I bought an electric guitar, it's been rubbish. So I thought I'd buy a decent one this time. So I did. So there it is. Obviously Telecaster style, but not a Telecaster.
Love it.
So
Yeah.
I'm looking for Gimme Shelter. That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for you to play Gimme Shelter.
Actually, so I'm not. It's interesting because you kind of think guitar's guitar, but it isn't. Playing electric guitar is very different from playing acoustic guitar. So I'm currently working on Little Wing. I'm some way from performing that for the moment. But the Stevie Ray Vaughan version of it, who's
I love it.
Mine.
My God.
Double
Steve
trouble.
Ray
So for those that don't know, if you Adam's been posting he's been posting songs of him playing the guitar and singing, and if you want to avoid those, so make sure you don't go onto LinkedIn on Saturday.
Thank you, Tim.
Hey, Adam, I still say Stevie Ray Vaughan at Austin City Limits, one of the best live performances ever.
Yeah, brilliant.
Stevie Ray Vaughan is one of those people where I remember hearing a song of his. Was that the Rain one? And it was one where I actually
couldn't stand the weather.
The Weather Girls or something. I turned over to the side of the road and had to finish it, sitting at the side of the road to listen to it.
Amazing.
Anyway, Matt has asked a question. He's heard the term imposter syndrome recently, and he would like to know, what is it? What do you think about it? And have you suffered from it? And what's your and Vic?
Sorry, I've got to go take a really important call. Sorry, you're breaking up. How dare you, Matt Pybus, come in with intelligent questions at this time of the day?
I thought we were
that is a really intelligent question, isn't it?
It really is.
And I think that answering that, we need to consider the other side of the imposter syndrome coin, which is the Dunning-Kruger effect, which is also funny as well. So
that's right. I was just about to say that. The
Dunning-Kruger effect is a well-documented psychological positioning that people have, where they're so useless at something that they don't understand how useless they are at it, and they think therefore that they're quite competent at it. And typically that's when you have people who's and this is not any kind of criticism of, for argument's sake, a builder. You know, they spend their day laying bricks and driving white vans, and yet they think they'd be better at managing the England team than the England football manager would.
It's a good metaphor.
Yeah.
Bitcoin.
So the other side of that coin is imposter syndrome, which is where if you actually become quite good at something, you realize how little you know. So you start to become very aware of what you don't know rather than what you do know. So you think you're unworthy of any success or adoration that you get. And actually, I think imposter syndrome is fairly common amongst intelligent people that are quite good at something.
I mean, from a coach's perspective, I'd agree 100%, Adam. My personal experience with it was after my dad died 4 years ago. I went through this period of really questioning whether or not any of the stuff that I believed in and coached on was valuable, you know, because I looked at so many other people that were doing great things. And so I ended up breaking it as far as I could down to what's the basic foundation, and then built back up. And I think the most important way to avoid imposter syndrome is to have a conversational style predicated upon questions.
Mm. But yeah, I completely agree. So question number 2: what do I think about it? What do we think about it? I'm sure that every one of us who has coached people from the social selling perspective sees this in almost everybody that we coach. People are competent at what it is that they do, sometimes brilliant at what it is they do, but they're afraid to show that because they don't think they are either brilliant or even competent at it. And that it breeds so many problems for people becoming good at social, because even when people have had success in a space, so they publish a post, they get really good feedback from their audience, they get loads of engagement on it, they generate some business benefit off the back of that. You would think that that would help to allay the fears they have about being an imposter, but it doesn't. So at the first opportunity to not post something, they take the opportunity not to post something again. So it is a very real problem, and part of my job as a coach, and I'm sure all of you guys' job as a coach when we work with people, is to help them overcome those fears and feelings.
And done lots of things, and they said, I've got nothing to say. No one's interested in what I've got to say. I'm just average.
So Matt has said underconfidence then, but I think it's more than underconfidence, Matt. It's about inappropriate underconfidence. You know, this is not about somebody not being confident to stand up and deliver their view. It's believing that their view is wrong and they don't have a position to be able to hold something on that.
I think
there was a brilliant piece written about this by a doctor. Can't remember, but it was many years ago in a piece that I was doing. It was about this, and it was about the roots of this imposter syndrome and where it might come from. And I love the fact that it's actually rooted in a couple of different areas where we might not, you know, many of us will sit there and say imposter syndrome is when someone just feels they've got no confidence, but actually there's a lot of avenues for it, and there's 5 main, if I can remember them, the 5 main areas that she said that she's tuned into. So if you are a perfectionist, for instance, and your whole life's about getting things done to perfection, and you can't perfect something, you feel like a failure, you feel like an imposter. If you are a person that spent your life picking up new skills and you're naturally good at everything, and you become known as that person that's the kind of naturally gifted, you know, he's a natural sportsman, he's a natural at this, and then suddenly it doesn't work, they feel like a bit of an imposter. The soloist who's built everything that he or she has done themselves, and it has to be about them, and then all of a sudden they actually need a bit of a help with something, they feel like a failure, they feel like an imposter. The person who's an expert, the person who's a superhero, if they've built pillars for themselves and all of a sudden those pillars just can't help them achieve what they're trying to do, they end up in this space where they feel a little bit lost, and that imposter syndrome starts to overtake them. So my tuppence worth is, and what I remember about that thing was acknowledging your feelings at the time, and very relevant to the work that we chaps do is building connections that will help you support all of that, get a really good support network around you, challenging your doubts, and the number 1 for me is avoid comparing yourself to others.
You know, Eric, I think like 20 years of coaching, everything you said is 100% true, but if I was going to put it in one sentence, it's you lose touch with context. So many times people that are like, we all have a little bit of imposter syndrome because those are those 5 avenues. I saw that article. It's brilliant. Yeah. She's an amazing person. Thank God I'm not a psychologist, or I'd feel like an imposter syndrome. But, you know, the point being is that when you lose the context, so like when we're coaching people, even when I went through the initial training, you feel kind of like rubbish. This is a new world. It's a new thing. And you lose your context. Like, why should I have been great at social before our training program? Well, I wasn't, you know, and you lose touch of context. And that's where I think the coaching that you guys are talking about and that we do is so important, because we can gently show them that they're not at the point right now where they should let this stop them. Be fair to yourself.
Yeah.
You know, and I felt it myself. I can remember starting new accounts where you walk into this new account and you've got a boardroom and all these great people, and you're standing in front of them and they're looking at you like you are now going to lead them down this incredible path to learning everything that you can bring to them, and you suddenly feel like, oh my God, am I really going to be able to deliver and make the big change that I promised to this amazing group of executives sitting in front of me? And so I have absolutely felt it myself.
Totally. And do you know what's a beautiful thing? Because I've caught myself a few times staring in the mirror saying, when am I going to get this? When am I going to get good at this? And then going, you're doing it right now. You're doing it now. You've been doing it for ages. You know what I mean? And that little voice of going, you know, there's a lot of pressure and we're going to be able to do this. Well, actually, you've been the other head turns and says, you've been doing this for a while and you're very good at it and everything's fine and no one died and the world didn't spin off its axis. It's okay. It's all good. So that's what someone told me, Matt, about imposter syndrome. Not
I
easy
hope
for
that was
them.
useful, man.
So
Sorry,
I think it's really important that we keep, not just us as a team, but we as individuals, all of us, keep pushing ourselves outside of our comfort zone.
Yeah.
So, typically the place that I see this most with when I'm coaching people is when we say to them, go on, do a video. And they say, I can't. And we look at ourselves and we go, well, if we can do it, you can do it.
Yeah, totally.
But
come on,
I get
we've all
really
got faces to radio, so if we can do it, anybody can do it. I'm 1,000 years old.
You are.
So if old people like me can do it.
But I think that it's also like, just because so Eric does some fantastic videos that are really kind of relaxed and funny and sophisticated, cutting to things that, and people look at that and they go, I could never do something like that because, I get really nervous. Yeah, we get nervous in front of a video. It's all right. It's all right to get nervous. It's okay to fight those fears and to overcome it. It's part and parcel of what we need to do. And the great thing about a video, as opposed to speaking to an audience or doing a pitch, is if you get it wrong, you can do it again and again and again and again and again and again and again until you get it right. Whereas when you stand up to deliver a pitch to a company, you've got one shot. If you get it wrong, it's game over. Yeah, exactly.
Well put. Yeah, totally.
Right. So who's going to go first? Who's going to talk about the subject?
I've got a little piece.
Hold on a moment. We've had a supplementary from.
Yeah.
Yes, Matt.
It's almost guaranteed.
So not more susceptible to imposter syndrome, more susceptible to being able to push themselves again.
It's a bit like a muscle. You put yourself outside your comfort zone, and then you actually realize it's actually okay out of it.
And we see the converse of that. So if we say to people, you need to publish a piece of content every single day, and they publish something today and tomorrow and the day after and the day after and the day after and the day after, and they get into that habit of doing it, and then they don't publish something one day, they think, oh, well, I didn't publish something that day and it was all right. And then a few days go past and they don't publish, and eventually they end up not publishing stuff because they've given themselves permission. So give yourself permission to go outside of your comfort zone, and you'll see that, you shoot a video, nobody likes it, you haven't died. So you can shoot another video and eventually people will like it.
Yeah.
Just remember that human progress is not linear, right? There is a universal formula for how human beings improve performance. Stress plus recovery drives adaptation. And I think one of the problems that people have is they don't plan on how they're going to recover, and they just keep pressing the gas. And I think that's so important when we interact with people, being empathetic. We are, but it's not just get out there and post 1 million times. The strategy I found to be so amazing when I came on board was it wasn't overwhelming. It really wasn't. It gave me time to recover. It gave me time to grow and improve. And I think
and order a cowboy hat.
I was about to get onto that.
I just thought it was fantastic that you could have a rest day. I mean,
it's right there. It's right
Cowboy
there.
Mike is ready. The sheriff of social is in the house.
Get off your horse and drink your milk.
All right,
Nick's here. Hi, Nick.
Fill your hands, you son of a.
I was ready for you. I was ready for you, my Scottish brother.
You were.
So if you don't know, you go to Mike's LinkedIn profile, and you will see that he's done a video dressed as a cowboy.
And very fetching it is too.
And it's a very good video as well. So it is actually well worth checking out. And Matt's given you.
It's Woody's round.
Matt gives you 2 cowboy hats. And Sandy's here. So hi, Sandy.
Hi,
Thanks
Sandy.
for being in again. Appreciated.
If you pull the little plastic loop on Mike's back, it says, "I love financial advisors."
I cannot wait till I see you in person. I'm going to break you down like a shotgun.
What was the cowboy called from Toy Story?
Woody.
Oh, Woody.
Eric had something he wanted to talk about. He had an article, I think. I think we should.
Yeah, come on, let's change the subject.
So this whole thing that we do is summarizing a week in digital and things that we've noticed. And I found a little beauty of an article written by Aaron Templar, published in Marketing Profs only yesterday. Aaron, let me just pull up his profile, is the founder and strategist of 3/4 out of Denver, Colorado. I did send him a link to this to your profile, Tim. I don't know if you're in the audience, Aaron. If you are, we loved your article. So 3/4. I even like the way they describe themselves. We are an unagency, the agency we always wanted to hire. I love that. That's pretty cool. So Aaron writes in Marketing Profs a really powerful piece. I called it a peach. Thomas called it a hand grenade. But I think it's a really small piece, but it's so well researched with such great. We can maybe put the link to it in the chat, Tim.
Yeah.
Yeah. So why social media should leave your marketing department and where it should go instead. I mean, what an opener, right? So I'm not going to go into the complete piece. So Aaron gives us 4 reasons why social media should leave your marketing department and go somewhere else instead. Now, he puts it all in context and gives some wonderful, really nice links to it. There you go. There you go. Perfect. He starts by saying marketeers have strong biases and talks about the fact that we've discovered significant implications for social media marketing going into 2021. Number 1, marketeers still don't do data very well. And he cuts to the chase and gives us some really, 67% of executive marketeers can't quantitatively measure the impact of their social media marketing. That percentage balloons to as high as 77% in some B2B sectors. And he produces a nice report that backs that up. Please go and do the research. Number 2, let's face it, organic social media marketing rarely works. And he links to an article by Avinash Kaushik, one of the most respected analytics and thought practice leaders online, who says, kill all the organic social media activity by your company, all of it. And he links to that article. Number 3, build social online groups and unlearn marketing. Pretty powerful. Marketeers need to come to terms with it. Unlearning, need to come to terms with a really tough reality. The most thriving social media communities with a marketing bent tend to be built within 3 narrow contexts. And he talks about the fact that we need to move marketing out of social media out of marketing and into customer care. And I think that's beautiful. It's a great little article, a great little piece. He goes into to great depth to explain it all. But he finishes by saying, and I think it's a nice little flourish at the end, marketeers, let's raise a glass and say cheers together. Goodbye to hopeful thinking and hello to clarity, which I think is beautiful. So go check it out. It's a great piece. It's on Marketing Profs, written by Aaron Templar, published yesterday, and a really good challenge as to where. And I find that a lot. I'll talk to organizations. We'll talk to organizations about this strategic business transformation that we're going to, and they're like, yeah, but we're doing other marketing campaigns right now as well. Well, I don't know what part of this you've missed. This is nothing to do with a marketing campaign. We've spent half of our marketing budget already. Okay. This is not a marketing campaign. So this is business. This is changing your business. This is investment for the future. So super article, and I really loved it. There's some great little quotes in there, great links to other articles as well, which are really worth reading. Thank you, Aaron Templar, for a great little piece in Marketing Profs.
So Restream isn't allowing me to push that link out to LinkedIn.
I'll pop it on LinkedIn.
Could you put it on the?
Yeah, in the chat.
Thank you. I've been reading the error message, and it says it's stand on one leg.
In commenting on your article, Eric, and I love that. I mean, and I called it a grenade for a reason, because that's what you want to roll into the boardroom when the pin's out. The fact is that marketing has a very strong role, but social media is, and I agree with them, is not one of them. Right? They bring the wrong perspective. They bring the wrong goals, the wrong ideas,
the wrong measures.
Well, they don't have any measures. So they just, in fact, that ball gets dropped sooner than it was put on the table. And they don't want the ball in the first place, right? They think social media is a waste of their time and energy in some cases. So in any case, I totally agree with that. I think that social media has a place, as we all know, right across the operations in every department in the company. And as you so well put, you know, and I get it all the time. You know, we've got marketing campaigns going. We don't have the money for this. Well, that's okay, because this isn't going to impact marketing in the least as far as that campaign goes. And by the time we're done, you're going to pull the rest of the money from the marketing campaign and put it where it belongs.
There's a beautiful little link to exactly what you're talking about there, Thomas. Aaron says, critically, community building isn't a marketing function. Marketeers training and conditioning forces us into promotions, conversions, and sales funnel thinking, and we build the technical chops to be effective at that. Customer care requires something entirely different, and organizations that are using social media successfully in their customer care know that.
You know,
underlined.
I love it. My whole take on it, and thank you so much for finding this article. I signed up for everything they do as a result. Mm-hmm. But my take on it is it's a mindset challenge, and I've written about this. We've all written this about this. You know, marketers didn't get into marketing to talk directly to consumers, to talk directly to buyers. They want to transmit information, and they're amazing at it. But that's not how social media really works, and that's why none of those strategies pan out. Because the people in your organization that are going to be on social need to freaking be social. They need to be comfortable conversating. So
so Eric did some research around why do people come to LinkedIn, and the answer was that people come to LinkedIn to be social, not to read your brochure.
Shocking.
That's right. Not to read your brochure.
Unbelievable. But I will say one other thing though. We're picking on marketing, but you know, the truth is I've yet to meet a sales manager that understands how to properly use social media either. So yes. You know, the VP of sales is in the same box as the VP of marketing or the CMO. They don't get it, and therefore there's no way they can properly deliver.
But we do find, and this is a really important thing to underline here, marketing, sales, operations, management, leadership, technical, HR, whatever it might be, when they link arms digitally, very powerful together. Very powerful together, right? They all have roles, as you quite rightly said, Thomas. They all have roles, they all have strengths, they all have abilities that they can put in, and linking up all those digital brains and that digital thinking and digital activity is gold to watch it happen. But maybe if it's landed just in the one department or the one place, it's lost and it's not really working. I think that's what
it's gold. I think that's what, very gold.
It's gold. Yeah. There's golden in there, Hills.
I think Adam might have said at one point that it's important to have a comprehensive strategy for the entire team, so that like everyone knows what they're supposed to do. Maybe you said that, Adam. I think
I'll take that. It sounds far too intelligent for me. Probably Tim or Eric, but
imposter syndrome.
There's that imposter syndrome again.
Adam,
justifiably so.
Eric,
yeah, carry on.
Eric, can I challenge one thing that Aaron has written?
Which part is that?
Could we connect him, do you think, with the CEO of Cyberhawk?
I think we probably could, yeah.
Because he says in the article that organic social media marketing rarely works. Well,
I think he qualifies that by sort of alluding to the fact that just posting up advertising and stuff like that doesn't really work.
See.
You know, just
paid media, rather.
Yeah, so what I took from that is that he's saying if you post up your adverts and sit back waiting for orders and for the phone to ring, you're stuffed. You are stuffed.
Oh yeah, you are. Yeah, give it. Yeah,
I think that's what I got from it. I may be wrong, but I think that's where he's going with it.
Well, since I agree with you, you're not wrong.
Fair enough. Okay.
It is my opinion,
and
therefore a fact. Sandy left a comment. Many marketers have told me I don't use LinkedIn. ... Mind blown. Absolutely. I mean, it's. Do you know? a week and a half ago, I did a poll, didn't I, on LinkedIn that said, how important is social media for the development of your business?
Yes.
Crucial, very important, not so important, basically unimportant, irrelevant. And what I found simultaneously shocking and really concerning was that of the people that answered in the fourth category, basically this is of no relevance to me at all, there were maybe 30 people that answered that way, and half a dozen of them were sales directors or managers, and half a dozen of them were marketing companies, people from marketing companies, and one of them was somebody from a social media analysis tool company. And it's like, this is like me starting work at a vegan shop, turning up with a beef burger.
With a bacon sandwich, yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't compute. So I'm with you, Sandy. Mind blown, utterly.
We couldn't believe it when, because you can see, people know that when you click on the things, you can basically see who's done it, and it's from a well-known social media tool company. The sales director there does not believe that social is important.
Well,
was that a tumbleweed that just blew across in front of Eric?
He's absolutely killing it with cold calling.
Yeah. Hello, would you like to buy my social tool? Now, why are you cold calling me?
Hey, Eric,
Yeah.
you played rugby, right?
Yeah.
Well, like, you got to have somebody at the bottom of the league,
Mm-hmm.
Like, so that's what this is.
You do, yeah, you do, absolutely. My goodness me.
Yeah, for everybody in the top quartile, there's somebody in the bottom quartile. That's the nature of it, isn't there?
Yeah,
so Thomas wants to talk about breaking up big tech.
Oh, come on, Thomas.
Sure. So there's been quite a bit of talk in the United States with respect to the government now stepping in, and by the way, this is across all parties, so it isn't restricted to one side or the other. This is actually across all parties, and they are now talking very seriously and writing bills and laws around breaking up Google and Apple and Facebook and so on. And this is a very real thing that's now happening. And when you really look into the details of it, as I've had a chance to read into it a bit, I think I agree with it.
Was this argument piqued by Roger Waters in his press conference?
That was awesome.
When he went off into one at Mark Zuckerberg and Instagram.
That was awesome.
I don't think so, but it should be. Yeah, I don't think so.
So you said, Thomas, that they're actually in the process of starting to draft up bills in the States.
Fact, there's been a couple written already. So it is coming. There's no question about that. Now, why is that important with respect to our conversation?
Yeah, why is it important?
Outside of the audience, right? Because many new channels, social media channels that have come up, and some do better than others. I mean, Clubhouse most recently is one that we've all been on and have tried. It could be argued that some of the behemoths have found a way to kind of stymie the growth of that particular channel. When companies get that powerful, whether they buy you out or whether they cut your cord, they can really kill the opportunity to create more innovative companies. Facebook came out of a guy on a university campus who was trying to hook up with girls mostly, and develop Facebook, right? And Mark Zuckerberg knows better than most that that's how innovation comes, and yet he's now stymieing it. Jeff Bezos, with respect to Amazon and his amazing story, he's now doing the exact same things that he would have been against 20 years ago when he started. And the story goes on. And Google, oh my God, I mean, Google to me, when I really look at all the tentacles that Google has out there, is at the center of it. And so we are now, I think, less better off with respect to technology and the different things that come in and innovate and help us do even more on social than we would be if they were broken up in some way and changed in some way, such that those innovations can come apart.
I'm interested to know what the audience think about it. I mean, there's no stupid question or no stupid comment. Just anything, whether you think it's brilliant, whether you think it's crap. I'm really interested. Thomas told me he was bringing this to the team, and I thought it was just a great thing to debate.
It's a tough one. It's a toughie because the behemoths, the people that have the monopolies, the big ones you mentioned there, have the ability and the bankroll to fund amazing tech progression, and we love all that. What we don't like is when it starts to impact on our daily lives in a negative way. I mean, I don't even like it in the way that I was talking to a colleague on my phone while I had a social media channel open this morning, and I was talking to a colleague on my phone. This mic here was hooked up to the computer, and I started talking about a CRM system in front of my eyes. I've never had an advert for that CRM system. In front of my eyes, in my newsfeed, came 2 adverts for that CRM system that I've never spoken about before, popped up into my newsfeed as I was. So we don't like that, and we don't like all the political intervention and all of that. But it's a double-edged sword, because Google, Microsoft, Apple, would you even put Tesla in there? I'm not sure.
So in the list is Microsoft, Google, Facebook. There was another software. Apple.
Apple, yeah.
But there's a flip side to this coin. Whilst I do hear what you say, and it is a little bit creepy, isn't it? And I'm playing devil's advocate when I say this. When I go to Facebook, and obviously they want to monetize the platform by putting adverts in front of me, and that's how they fund the platform that I benefit from using. So I can't say, how dare you advertise to me, because actually if they don't advertise to me, they charge me £10 a week to be on the platform, because that's the only other way that they can fund the platform. So they're going to advertise to me. I've got a choice. I can have adverts for guitars, or I can have adverts for sanitary products. Which do I want?
I'm not arguing with that. My argument is I'm not. So I'd quite happy click the box that said it says you're going to be advertised to while you're on this platform. What do you not want to be advertised, on your feed? And I could select or whatever. I'm quite happy to see them. What freaks me out is microphones picking up daily conversation.
But the thing is that
freaks me out.
Okay, but if you've given if you've given Facebook, so Facebook will ask you, will you give them permission to access Bluetooth? If you've given that permission, it is actually listening to you. It's a well-known fact. The same as free.
Look at Jan's comment. That is brilliant.
The same with free games. Free games, when they show you an advert, they take your picture.
Yeah,
you've given them permission to do that.
So, great statement, Jan.
So if I could add a little,
I'm not sure I actually understand that. Sorry.
Yeah, if I could add some historical.
Hold on a second. Yeah. Jan's comment.
Yeah.
Like when the grey squirrel came over to the UK.
Oh yeah, and then
killed off the red squirrel because it was better equipped to breed and take over.
Or letting a cat go in the jungle.
Yeah.
So being as so is it quick, Mike? Because we're running a short time.
If you want to look at why it's going to be a good thing for these monopolies to be broken up for this antitrust, all you have to do is look at Standard Oil with the Rockefellers, when, in spite of the fact that they owned all these politicians and he was the most wealthy person in the world, when they broke up antitrust, when they broke up all those companies, there was massive innovation and everyone made more money and everyone was better off, because at that point, Standard Oil was buying other companies and shutting them down. They weren't integrating; they're just shutting them down.
So as I've got to kind of guillotine that one. I think it's something that's going to run, and hopefully the audience will come back with some things. Adam or Mike, have you got things to talk about?
I haven't got much. I was merely going to say TikTok.
Oh.
So we had a conversation as a team about this the other day. Yeah, absolutely. We had a.
Thanks, Matthew. Thanks.
Yeah, cheers, Matt. We had a conversation about this the other day, and we thought we were going to have a bit of a play with TikTok. and not lip syncing to Britney Spears songs. Although I'm not averse to a little bit of that from time to time. But yeah, it's
strumming his electric guitar.
Yeah, indeed, pretending to be Stevie Ray Vaughan. It's kind of it's an interesting new world, isn't it? And I think we're all having a bit of a play with that at the moment, aren't we?
You know, it's funny.
Yes.
I was on a call yesterday on Clubhouse, and we were talking to an association that is behind the times with the younger generation. And I brought that up, Adam, with respect to the association. This was the leather industry, as you know. I'm involved in that industry a bit, and I told them
you might want to expand on that.
Just so everybody knows, Thomas is involved in the leather industry because we have a client that's involved in the leather industry. Yeah. Thomas has a client.
Yeah,
but he when he says he's big into leather, it's because of this client.
Thank you so much for that, Tim. You cleared it right up, and I appreciate that. Anyway, we got talking to them. If you want to reach, I mean, social media is about going where your customers are, right? It's about being where your customers are. And if your customers are here, then you need to be there. If they're here, then you need to be there, and so on. And every social channel has its audience and its demographics, and TikTok is no exception to that rule. And in fact, the younger audiences, and if you want to impact those audiences, that is where they live. Right, and if you're an industry that needs to be focused accordingly, then you cannot, and I can't say it strongly enough, you can't ignore it, right? And that goes for us too. If we want to influence and bring in the younger generations to learn how important social and digital is to their sales careers, marketing careers, business careers, etc., then we go where they are, and they are there. So
Cowboy Mike is coming to TikTok.
Cowboy Mike's coming to TikTok. Excellent.
Oh,
fantastic. Yeah. I'm looking forward to that.
As am I.
TikTok. It's great fun. It's great fun, and already getting some nice interaction and some nice some nice stuff. It's you know, it's great. We produce a lot of nice content, and splitting it up and sharing it across, and doing some unique stuff as well for that platform has been an absolute joy this week. So loving it. Excellent.
And I think it's you know, one of the things about social media is about having an audience and then and seeing that either gaining a new audience on TikTok or moving the audience that you've got to your other platforms. We've got a great comment here from Jacob.
Yeah.
Or Jacob.
Yeah, very, very true.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I put up a video the other day, like last night, and I've got like 1,000 views. And it's me with crooked teeth talking.
Still growing. 1,232 views.
Talking in. It's for me. It's quite funny because I've had my teeth straightened since then. So I'm actually I watched the videos. Of course, nobody actually probably sees it, but I've got crooked teeth in them.
Nobody else noticed it, probably, Tim.
No, I know. I'm sure. Yes.
That's the dental aspect of imposter syndrome.
Yes. So Jan's dancing and lip syncing, fantastic. You need to share us where you've got those.
Yeah,
I'd love to see that with when you're smoking a cigar at the same time.
Yeah, see if we can build you a cult following.
So, Mike, what are you talking about?
So, there's this cool post by a dude from Virginia. I'm partial to that, being from Virginia myself, called Marcus Sheridan, and it was an impassioned plea to not outsource content creation. And I would just like to say that, especially in industries that are a little bit more lagging on social media adoption, that you just have to deny the siren song of outsourcing your content, outsourcing building your network to these shady people. Because what you're doing is you are outsourcing your growth and your organization's growth in being able to talk to your customers. Like you're approaching social from the wrong mindset. So actually, even if your content you don't feel is good, imposter syndrome, the fact that you created it means that you are improving. And the more people you can get in your organization creating content within a strategic plan, to echo my friend Eric, right? Within a strategic plan that's designed to make you digitally dominant, you are actually hacking your growth. Everyone is improving. Everyone's getting better. But when you outsource it, you actually have no engagement with the actual benefit of process improvement. Why would you outsource your practice? It's kind of like, hey, we want to win the World Cup, but we're going to have other people do the practice for us, and we're just going to show up to the game. It's just ludicrous. So that's I just wanted to just encourage anyone listening at any point to this, the beauty, the beauty, the humanity of this process, and quite frankly, the ROI is in doing it yourself.
I coached a company this week, parts of it, that our social selling and influence program, which is about creating content. And I was doing the one-to-ones before it, and you could all see them really concerned. I was talking to one of the sales guys, and he was saying to me, he said, I can't write content. So I said, right, okay, so let me get this right. So you did a presentation last Friday. He said, oh yeah, it was 4 hours to a customer. So I said, you're a presenter? He said, oh yeah, I'm really good on my feet. Fantastic. And I said, you told me that you couldn't get, there was no resource available to it. So what do you do? Well, I sent a shitogram to my sales director and said, do you want me to sell this, or do you want me to go and do something else? I said, so it was action based, was it? And he said, yeah, it was fairly robust. I said, and you got the resource? Yeah. He said, I said, so you're able to write action-based content? Yes. Okay. I said, there was a tender, wasn't there? There was an RFP. He said, oh yeah, it was a big tender. I wrote the management summary. We went through what the business issues were and how are we going to solve them. I said, so you're a writer then, aren't you?
Did he pick up?
And when it came to the session, he wrote 2 pieces that were absolutely brilliant. And I know he won't publish them, Imposter Syndrome, but they were absolutely fantastic. And in fact, everybody on the whole of it's my favorite session, because you can see that people come into the session terrified, and they come out and you can see their eyes shining on and the change that takes place, where they actually go, I can do this, I can write, and you can start seeing the digital muscles starting to flex. That's
joyful.
It's a wonderful thing to seeing people change like that.
Yeah.
And you miss it all if you outsource.
Yes. Where would you have he knows the subject, he knows the business issues.
Yeah, and at the end of the day,
you could get some good writers, but you'll miss the context.
Well, and my nail on the coffin, but it won't die. It's undead. It comes back every night. The nail on the coffin is, at the end of the day, you're going to have to deal with that customer anyways. You're going to have to talk to them. So you might as well, as part of your sales process, freaking talk to them. Don't outsource anything.
So Eric, I don't know if I can share that. So Eric wanted to, this is a way that you can use content, because a lot of people think about content is it's about creating a white paper and you basically throw it out there and hope it will stick. But you can actually use content at a very, very niche point. So there's a particular person that Eric wanted to get and have a meeting with, and he knew what the person's business issue was. So we just wrote articles and did videos on this particular business issue. And within 2 weeks, the person rang up and said, Eric, I've read your article about this. It's really interesting. Can we have a conversation?
Totally. So, and nothing horrific in that, or nothing Machiavellian in that.
Not at all. It's using social as, someone said to me, but that sounds like a strategy.
Yeah. But so as well as being able to connect with a whole heap of other people who enjoyed or engaged with the material, I was still, my laser focus was on, I want this person and maybe another person in that organization to really pick up on this. I'm really targeting this to them, and yes, it absolutely worked and came off. Yeah, beautiful. So it can be done. I like that sort of, content to one or content to a few or content to many kind of approach, and working with clients on that too, and seeing the benefits and effects of that is, as you say, a joy watching that grow. Yeah, cool.
Did you have something else, Thomas?
No, I was going to just say first, and then I'll come to that. That's what this is all about. This isn't playing on social. This isn't just having fun. This is actually a process, right? And if you actually work the process and you take the steps and you learn the skills, then it works. It's a funny thing, right? But if you go do what Mike said and you outsource this and you outsource that, or you do a little bit on Wednesday this week, and then maybe you'll do it Friday the following week, none of that works. This is something you have to do every day and really build into your schedule. Yes, I did have something else, Tim. So yesterday I put up something, and it was about a very well-known European soccer player. And you all know who
Cristiano Ronaldo.
Yes.
Sponsored by the guy with more followers even than us.
Just a few
combined. Yes, I think so. And so he did something rather amazing. And in my article, we always talk about Kylie Jenner, right, as part of one of the talks that we do with the club, and the impact that she had one morning when she got up and she said that she was at that mood.
She said, "I'm so over Snapchat, and the stock went down by $1.5 billion.
Flew off Snapchat. Their slippers on, and well, this soccer player did much the same thing, only with 4 times the impact, wiping off well over $4 billion. And as of yesterday, I don't know what it's done since, but hopefully still falling.
So in case you missed it, Cristiano Ronaldo was interviewed at the Euros, and he got there was 2 bottles of Coke because they do they're one of the sponsors, and so they do promotion, and he just basically put them on the floor and then got his water and said in Portuguese, because he's Portuguese, drink water.
But it was the anger in his face, he's got 91.6 million followers on Twitter. A lot of them are kids or young, easily influenced people, and he's all about nutrition and health and all of that.
Well,
and he was shaking his head, saying,
"He's an old man now, and
he is,
but he still plays brilliant football because he looks after himself."
Yeah, absolutely. Can I just quickly jump in here, because I just got a lovely note from right at the top of the piece. We read it. We did a little synopsis and then review of a brilliant article by Aaron Templar. Aaron's just sent a note saying that he's tuned in. He's listening.
Oh, fantastic!
So we'll be able to watch the recording of this when Tim, when you hit and end the session, it will go onto your feed, and Aaron will be able to watch us reviewing your brilliant little article on marketing process. If you're out there, please say hello. Yeah. And thanks for writing a great piece. We tore it to shreds in a good way. In a good way.
Well, the only person.
Please be my friend afterwards.
Yes. Yeah.
We brought Tim back around.
So yeah, absolutely. Thomas, hey. I tell you. Hey,
Aaron is here. Brilliant. So please check out the recording, because we love that little piece. Thomas called it a hand grenade. I called it a peach, but it just ticked many a grenade. It ticked many boxes for us. Thank you.
But getting back to the power of social and what happened with that, companies ignore that and get sideswiped
at their peril.
Oh my God! And the damage that can be done. Now, if Coca-Cola had an audience that was really following Coca-Cola in the way that Ronaldo does, they would have all jumped on and protected them accordingly with respect to social media. But that didn't happen, right? In fact, everybody came out in support of what happened, and the value kept dropping. And Coke didn't respond to that, other than to say everybody's got different tastes.
Yeah. Well, that's the only thing they could say. I mean, Coca-Cola is the cigarette of the 2000s, right? 2020s. I mean,
they're all getting it today.
Okay, well, that'll have wiped another 15 or 20 cents off.
They won't even notice.
That'll knock the 15 or 20 cents off of one can of Coke.
I'll probably get an advertisement, right? Won't I?
Yeah, big time, big time.
But if anybody ever questioned the value of an influencer, that was the answer.
And it was amazing how it hit social media immediately, and then and of course there was the way it went viral was because there was an agreement, which is nobody likes product placement. You know, when people sit there and they've got these bottles in front, you go, God, why is that stuff there? Whether you like sugary drinks or not, everyone was in support of him.
Product placement, yes, at its finest, Eric.
Thank you.
You should be using your special mug, shouldn't you?
Where's your thunk mug?
Sorry, guys, I just had to switch over there because I find that when I'm listening to a podcast, I find that my Bose speaker is the best speaker to listen to whenever I'm listening to a Restream.
Don't move it. Hold it
this
still.
This is sponsored by Apple. Apple earplugs.
Hey, look, you're a sponsored influencer, Eric.
I am. I'm now the OGV tap room.
But it's lovely, right?
Yeah, it's lovely. Yeah, absolutely. Our little LinkedIn live is has we the lovely people at OGV tap room allow us to give away beer on our LinkedIn live as to prize gift.
Yeah. So if you haven't watched it, Thursday mornings. When is it on? It's
7:45 UK time.
Yeah.
2:45 a.m. US.
Yes. So Eric does something called the Breakfast Burrito, which is a zoo radio type streaming event like this. He has guests on it. You can win beer. Eric.
Yep.
So he had people doing talking about wine. This week he had
a voice coach.
Voice coach giving you enable you with exercises for your voice
and loads of 70s disco.
And 70s disco.
Yep, big time.
So it's Thursdays at.
Yeah, it's if you want to catch our latest one, it's on my my news my profile, my news feed. You'll be able to watch the recording of it. It was a great show this week, and lots of fun to do, and great guests and great interaction from our lovely audience. So thank you for that.
And I think from my perspective, it's pushing forward the boundaries of live streaming, and social media.
Awesome.
Which is cool.
Just need to take some. I'm going to go back and watch some old Howard Sterns and try and bring some of that in. I'm going to get a big speaker. I'm going to get a big speaker and turn it on its side.
Eric, you're just fine. There's no. Take it from me.
Yeah. No. Cool. No. Leave it there. Thanks for that, Tim.
Yeah. Well, got to plug it, haven't we?
Yeah, big time. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So, any final comments?
Just I been at this for a while now, but social never ever gets old for me. The fact that I read an article, I liked the article, I said I was going to talk about it here. Quickly contact the author of the article, who says, "Well, I'll join your restream," and he's here. We shouldn't. We just glaze over the fact that little interaction just happened. But there's a man from Denver who wrote a piece that we just reviewed on our live stream, and he's with us here just now. There's beauty in that, digital beauty. It's just gorgeous.
Accept Mike's friend request, Aaron. Accept Mike's friend.
For me, the takeaway from this session was, and I don't know how I kind of got to this age and get this bolt from the blue. Tim used the expression shitogram, which I just thought was magnificent, absolutely magnificent. So thanks, Tim. I shall try to get that into some of my talks from now on.
That's it. That's the takeaway.
Never.
How
can that be?
Beautiful.
On that note.
On that bombshell.
on that bombshell, yeah. Thank you so much for everybody for tuning in. All the comments, really appreciated. All the questions. Jan, Aaron, Matthew, Nick, Sandy, Everybody, yeah. Mike, Eric, Thomas, Adam, me. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll be here next week.
As always, it was fun, guys.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.